Today I'd like to talk about tough times for law firms. It's quite evident anywhere we look today that our economy, our society is facing times far tougher than any we've had in the last several decades. People compare this to the Depression of the 1930s. I'm not sure I would go that far, but nevertheless, we are experiencing times that are far different than any we've had in one's normal lifetime. I'd like to address from a macro level what law firms are experiencing and how we can tell that we have tough times, and then give some suggestions on how we can deal with that to improve and overcome and not only survive but also thrive through these times. One piece of evidence is the collapse of major law firms. Firms like Heller and Thalen and others who, after decades, if not more than a century, have existed and have high-quality lawyers as members of their firm, have all of a sudden disappeared. Another aspect or piece of evidence that we can look to is that staff are being fired and they're not being hired. This is particularly true not only with staff but also with new lawyers. Large law firms still need to hire new lawyers right out of law school. But what they're doing now is they're reducing the class size, number one. Number two, they may have promised, for example, a September 1 hire date, and they're saying to these folks, look, we'll delay that until December 1 or January 1 or some other date into the future. So they don't have the expense of bringing on the new lawyers that they would otherwise have had. Part of that is an expense savings, but also part of that is because their revenues may be down and they don't need these folks quite as soon as they thought they would. Another and particularly disruptive piece of evidence from my perspective is what's called de-equitizing. Partners who have been rolling along for years in their partnership status, good lawyers, making valuable contributions to the law practice, but perhaps not being the rainmaker that the law firm might like. And in these cases, these lawyers are being asked either to leave the firm or to change their status from an equity partner to an income partner, or worse, a contract lawyer within the law firm. Another piece of evidence we can look to is what's happening in the corporate market, the in-house law department of major corporations. In these cases, many of the corporations are increasing the size of their departments. General counsel are able to hire quality lawyers at what they perceive to be reasonable salaries. In other words, the corporations are now able to buy legal talent at wholesale rather than retail. They are able to reduce the cost, overall expenses, even without approaching outside counsel for discounts, volume discounts or rate discounts. They're able to do this by budgeting. You'll find today more corporate law departments are actually sitting down with outside counsel and budgeting given matters so that they can make the decision with outside counsel, hey, look, instead of 20 depositions, we need only 12. That automatically reduces the cost of the legal matter. So these are some pieces of evidence that I see that are indicative of tough times in the legal profession. Now, I wouldn't want to leave you with just a whining approach. Rather, I want to suggest some ways that law firms can approach this situation, this economy, with affirmative action, if you will, and improve their situation and become more profitable. One of the ways to do that is to increase the degree of automation. In other words, turn around and look at what technology is available that will help improve the delivery of the legal services that you've got. Another piece to this is in the area of people. Take a look at your staff. Take a look at your associate attorneys and even your partners and see what education you can give them that will improve the quality of their work. In my opinion, the really quality law firm will insist and offer and pay for even more hours of education than that. The point here is to look at what skills you can enhance, you can embellish on. What skills will make your lawyers better lawyers and more effective and efficient lawyers? Don't stop with lawyers. Look also to the staff and what you can do to help them improve their skills. A third area is in terms of dealing with clients. Clients today have a greater choice of lawyers than ever before. It's a far more competitive environment than it used to be. The key here is to not only satisfy your clients, but bond with your clients and make sure that you are loyal to your clients are loyal to you. And when you have that loyalty, that bonding, you are collegial. You're not a patron and vendor. You are partners in the environment of the client. That will increase your revenue. That will increase your profit. And that will put you in a position of not only surviving through this economy as we go through the earthquake, if you will, but you will also thrive and come out stronger in the end. Thanks for joining us today.